The carbon cycle. Cycling of matter. Except for the few asteroids that arrive from space, the amount of matter on Earth is constant. Since matter is constantly being changed from one form to another, it must be recycled. There are two categories of matter, organic and inorganic. Organic substances always contain atoms of carbon and hydrogen, and often contain atoms of oxygen and nitrogen. Proteins, sugars, and fats, the important chemicals that make up your body, are all organic. Figure 1. Matter that doesn't contain a combination of carbon and hydrogen atoms is called inorganic matter. For example, carbon dioxide, CO2, water, H2O, and ammonia, NH3, are considered inorganic. Every carbon atom is recycled time and time again into new life forms. Because of this recycling, it is possible that somewhere in your body are atoms that once made up a Tyrannosaurus rex, one of the giant carnivorous dinosaurs that lived 70 million years ago. Matter gets recycled through eating food, which is organic matter, and through death. When an organism eats, the organic matter that was part of other living things becomes part of its body. When an organism dies, decomposers break down the organic matter into smaller inorganic molecules that are then available for other living organisms. Photosynthesis, cellular respiration, and the carbon cycle. Carbon is a key element for living things. Each year, about 50 to 70 billion tons of carbon from inorganic carbon dioxide are recycled into more complex organic substances. This is done through photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plants use light energy to combine carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and water from the soil to produce sugar, glucose, and oxygen. Photosynthesis is a complex chain of reactions, summarized in the following equation. Carbon dioxide and water and light energy reacts to form sugar, glucose, and oxygen. Most living things use oxygen to break down sugars, their source of energy. Carbon dioxide and water are released as the sugars are broken down. This process, known as cellular respiration, is summarized in this equation. Sugar, glucose, and oxygen react to form water and carbon dioxide and energy during respiration. Some of the organic carbon is released back to the environment as carbon dioxide. Respiration is not unique to animals. All organisms, including plants, that require energy will undergo some form of respiration. It might seem possible, then, that plants can maintain the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide themselves. However, plants produce about 9 times as much oxygen by photosynthesis as they use in cellular respiration. So plants are critical for the production of oxygen that is used by animals, including humans. Photosynthesis uses carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. Cellular respiration uses oxygen and produces carbon dioxide. Because of this, photosynthesis and cellular respiration are considered complementary processes, and because the carbon that they use is repeatedly cycled through both processes, this relationship is often called the carbon cycle. Inorganic carbon storage. While much carbon is being continuously recycled among living things and ecosystems, a tremendous amount of inorganic carbon is stored in 3 main storage areas: the atmosphere, the oceans, and the Earth's crust. The smallest percentage of the total amount of inorganic carbon, about 0.03%, is contained in the carbon dioxide in the air that we breathe in. This carbon dioxide is available for use by land plants in photosynthesis. A very large amount of inorganic carbon is found as dissolved carbon dioxide in the oceans. This is available to algae and other water plants for photosynthesis. The largest storage of inorganic carbon is in sedimentary rocks, such as limestone, that have been formed from the remains of living things. In this form, carbon can be trapped in the earth for millions of years until geological conditions bring it back to the surface. Volcanic activity can break down carbon-containing rocks, thereby releasing carbon dioxide. Acid rain falling on exposed limestone will also cause the release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Figure 4 shows how long a carbon dioxide molecule might stay in storage in different locations. Organic carbon storage. Organic carbon is also held in storage, in the bodies of living things. However, all living things die, and decomposition eventually returns the carbon to the cycle in inorganic form. This normally occurs over a relatively short period of time. There is one important exception to this rule. In some ecosystems, such as bogs, large amounts of organic carbon can be kept in storage for very long periods of time. There is very little oxygen in bogs, so decomposition is very slow and the carbon atoms remain locked away in dead plant material, or peat, for many years. If the peat in a bog becomes covered with many layers of sediment, the slowly decaying plant material can become compressed to form coal, a carbon-containing fossil fuel. Oil and gas, which are also fossil fuels, are formed by a similar process. Organic carbon can be trapped in the Earth's crust in the form of fossil fuels for many millions of years. Human activity and the carbon cycle. Humans have speeded up the release of organic carbon from the earth by mining and burning fossil fuels and by burning forests. Humans are also increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere by clearing away vegetation in order to build or farm. This reduces the amount of photosynthesis, which in turn reduces the amount of carbon dioxide removed from the atmosphere. The total amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is therefore increasing.